Well, Marina, time to open the hornet's nest with this one. Alright, before I even get started, before I sit down in the chair, before I even start talking about this movie in general, I need to preface this, okay? Yes, I know all about Victor Salva, the director of this movie. I know what he did. I know that he paid for it, not as long as he, as he deserved. People like that need to get life in prison without parole, in my opinion. But hey, that's just not how it's going to be. They'll never get long enough, in my opinion. But because I'm reviewing this movie, I am in no way supporting the director. I love this movie because of the movie, nothing to do with the director. Alright? And it is still fantastic. It's a shame who the director is. From the moment I sit down in that chair, I will not be talking about the director anymore. At least try not to. And just to say, there are some YouTubers out there that won't do this. They won't talk about this movie. I'll never watch Clown House. I'll never review Clown House. Because that's the movie it happened on, and I will never have any part to do with it. Jeepers Creepers was almost the same way. I'll watch them. The first two at least. But I won't, First one's a generally great movie. I'll say that much. But I won't make videos on them. And then I decided, the fourth one's coming out. I should probably give them a rewatch. Now, if I rewatch them, I'm gonna have to review them. Shit. And I said, why not? I'm not monetized. I'm not making any money off of this piece of shit's movie. Alright? I'm not making any money off of it. No money. I don't allow ads on my videos. I'm not monetized, so I get no money off of this. This is just me spewing off my thoughts on 3 movies. Alright? So before you all call me out for making money off of this guy's, this piece of shit's movie, just know, I'm not, I never will, I'm not monetized. I do these videos for the hell of it, because I want to do them. Okay? With that in mind, Marina, if I may, okay, I'm going to sit down now. No more Victor Salva talk. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Butt cheeks are on the chair. Okay, so Jeepers Creepers. So when this came out back in 2001, I was in middle school, my 8th grade of middle school to be precise. And I remember hearing about it when it came out. Didn't see it. Wasn't big into that. This was close. No, it wasn't. It was a few years later. I was in high school when my great-grandmother died. I said this story before. My great-grandmother passed away when I was in high school. I got like 2005. I was almost a senior. I got her horror movies. This was not one of them, but that's how I got into horror, right? But I never got into Jeepers Creepers. Never. Nope. No. No reason why, because I didn't know about, who. So one day I was at Walmart years ago when it first came here in town, and I see the 2-pack DVD. Obviously, I have the Blu-ray now, but they had the 2-pack DVD, and so I said, okay, it's been too long. I think I should finally check these movies out. Popped in the first movie, and yeah, this is a great movie, in spite of who the director is. It's a great film. Can't deny it. And my ranking is probably going to be controversial given the director. Anything, and hey, you see, we're going to say anything. I haven't said his name. But it's going to be controversial. I do have a few nitpicks for this. But so the story is, brother and sister are driving on their way home when they encounter a strange vehicle with a strange person, ? And soon this strange person is after them, and there's a psychic and a police station fight, and yeah. So first and foremost, Justin Long and Gina Phillips are fantastic in this. You watch them at the beginning of this movie, and you believe they are brother and sister. I have a sister myself. I have a brother too, but I have a sister myself. This is us. Like, we're back and forth, bickering and stuff. when you're younger. We still do it now. This is sibling stuff. That sort of stuff. Calling each other butt sniffers, dick licker, not that, but butt sniffer, ass, whatever. Yeah, butt sniffers, doofus head, that sort of thing. It's brother sister stuff. You know what I mean? And I always think that Justin Long is an underrated actor. I've never seen her be in anything else other than this. I know she has been, but I've never seen anything. Justin Long, he's been in stuff like Accepted and like Yoga Hosers and stuff. Which, some of his later stuff with Kevin Smith, it's okay. But like, he's been in Tusk. I mean, he's been in quite a bit of stuff that I like. So, yeah. I think he's an underrated actor for me. And so they're on the road, right? They're driving down the road, and okay, so there's this jump scare at the beginning of this movie that still works. It still works, especially if you forgot it's in there. There's a scene. They're talking about this poli-sci track team guy that she was dating. He starts singing this song, Mr. Poli-sci track team guy, and he's singing the song, and all of a sudden you see this truck that's coming behind him. Don't think of it. He's just driving, hitting it. Let me tell you. Okay. I was making my lunch at this point when it started. This is one of those. There you have some Blu-rays out there that you put them in and it'll go right to the movie. There's not really a menu. There's either no menu or it's just like a special feature menu. This is one of those. Bill and Ted is also like that. The first one is like that thing. I don't know about the second one. I haven't put that in. The one I have is a 2-pack, so. With the first one, I have Solo in it. Go straight to the movie. But I was making lunch, and I was in the fridge. I had a bag of tortillas. I made leftover tacos. So I had a Ziploc bag full of tortillas in my hand. And I was looking for something else, and that went off. I went, Jesus! And the tortillas went flying. They were in the bag still, but jeez, flew up, scared the shit out of me. Right? Yeah. So they're driving on this road, bickering back and forth, talking about license plates, trying to figure out what it means. I don't know. I never played that kind of game. We do the alphabet game, where you go, those A to B, you look at license plates, you look at the sides of trucks, signs, and you do that. Well, there's an A, that one's B. Did that growing up. Really? Fucking really. But, yeah. So, I'm driving. They see this guy, they're driving by, and they see this guy dump something down like a tube. So they end up U-turning, going back to check it. So watching it this time, something crossed my mind. So when they go back to check on it, they go directly to the tube, and there's like, there's something down there, here's something down there. Hold my legs, I'm gonna use the flashlight and try to see. And I'm thinking, church right there. Even if you're not 100% sure it's connected, why not see if you can go into the church and see if it does connect? They don't. And even after Derry falls down, what does Trish do? She goes back to the car. She freaks out at first, then goes back to the car and stands there and waits for him to get done whatever. Like, what? I'm sorry, but if this was my sister fell in, or if I was in her shoes and my brother fell in, I would go to the church. And I would go to see if I could find a way down there. And how does he get out? Because there's a scare where you see the car coming, like he's coming back, and she's freaking out. She's trying to start the car, and all of a sudden he's right there. And Justin Long's acting in this is fantastic. The look on his face, and from this point on, it's when they get to the diner and everything, it's pure trauma. What he saw down there traumatized him. Its bodies stitched together. There's a story of this couple that went missing, and they're down there, and they're like petrified. It's like petrified wood. Their skin is so hard, it's like petrified wood. And what he sees traumatizes him to the point he can't talk at first. And then he's like, we have to call the police. And so I have to stop at this diner, truck stop, whatever, to call the police, right? But again, how did he get out? Obviously, he found the way through to the church and everything. Why don't we see what's inside the church? The most likely scenario is they didn't have filming rights to go in there. They didn't have permission to film in there, just outside. So we just got the outside of it. But it just, logic dictates that one of them would go into that church. Just saying. So they get to this diner and they get a phone call on a payphone from someone asking them, have you seen the Cats yet? Have you heard the song? Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those eyes? We find this later to be a psychic whose name escapes me at the moment. So I'll just call her Mrs. Dabney, because that's what I know her as. Mrs. Dabney from Good Luck Charlie. That's what I know her from. So Mrs. Dabney's calling these people and saying, basically, but they're like, okay. And they don't believe them. They try to tell the cops, hey, this is what's going on. The cops show up. They don't believe them at all, and so they start to escort them out. And it's not really a cover of Jeepers Creepers. It's a song called Peekaboo, Peekaboo. I have it on my Spotify. It's a fantastic song. But in the middle of the song, they start going, golly jeepers, where'd you get those peepers? Creep show, where did you get those eyes? Or freak show, whatever. It goes on longer in the movie, but it's only a small part of the song. But he hears that because she says, the psychic lady, Mrs. Dabney, says, you hear that song, that means he's coming for you. So that song's playing, and in the background, and this is shot very well, he's freaking out. She's like, that's a song, that's what she said, it's a song. And she's like, what? It's a song. Behind them, you see the creeper on the police car behind them attacking the police, which is a fantastic shot. And I gotta say, the way the creeper is filmed in this, from shadows, in darkness, you don't even see what the creeper really looks like until this point. Even there, it's kind of secluded, and then afterwards, when the car kind of crashes, when the thing happens and they get knocked down at the stop, he whistles Jeepers Creepers, and he picks up this head. You don't see until he picks up the head, eats the eyeball, what he really looks like. Even then, it's not a complete look at what it's not completely what he looks like until later in the film. Which, honestly, I think he looked better with the trench coat and the hat than in his full creature form. I don't know. It's a little naked, whatever that means. It's just, I don't know. I understand he would be a naked creature, but it's like there's not enough to him. Like, he's just a basic creature. After that, his face is pretty cool, but yeah. But yeah, so they get to they get to somebody's house because they need to call the cops. We get Eileen Brennan, rest in peace, who I know from the New Adventures of Pippi Longstocking. She's been in a million other things. She was in The Hollow, the made-for-TV Sleepy Hollow movie, it's also underrated, and I wish I could review that, but it's a boatload to just buy the movie off eBay, and I can't find it streaming anywhere, but Anyway, they try to talk to her. She's like, I don't have a phone, and you ain't calling those police to tell me about zoning laws, because she's got 1 million cats. Yes, the cats. And of course she dies. Creeper shows up, kills her, and then they make their way to the police station, where we get Tubbs, who is the only returning character in any of the sequels. Well, Derry shows up in the second one, but for reasons I'll go into at the end, it's not really him. Because I'll tell you at the end. So they're at the police station. They're trying to tell them. They say they call their folks. Gonna meet them there, and they don't believe them. And then in comes Mrs. Dabney, who tries to tell them, I've seen it, and one of you is going to be screaming in a dark room while the song plays. Which one? And they try to make it look like she's pointing at Trish, because he asks, which one of us? And she looks at Trish with this look. Make it appear. And it also, maybe the creeper doesn't even know, because there's a shot where she's behind that. She's in front of a interrogation room where it's like a double-sided glass. And she's standing on one side looking in, and she can't see anything because that's the other side. And he's in there and he's going, to her, and it's like making you think it's her. And then he gets out there, bursts through one of the doors or something, and grabs them both, pins them both to a wall, and just sniffs them, and chooses Derry, which is obvious because he was sniffing sniffing Derry's clothes. So obviously it was him. But the clothes would pick up the scent. He had to figure out which one by sniffing both of them and even licking one of them. And when he licked Trish, he's like, no, it's not you, it's him. And she tries to get him to take her instead. No dice. Flies off. I'm assuming Mrs. Dabney survives. There was like a little thing where he grabs her, but he lets her go because at the end they are talking. And I'll get more into this when we get to the third one, because the third one takes place after this one and before the second one. Yeah, we'll get to that for reasons that are kind of confused. But at this point, she says, oh, your parents are here. So it's got to be the next day, whereas the number 3 takes place right after this. It's still dark out, and it's very confusing. We'll get to it. But he's like, why didn't... She's like, I'm just some crazy old lady. I don't know, Ask anyone, they tell you I'm just a crazy old lady. And maybe she doesn't even believe it, And then we cut to a factory where you hear the song playing, Derry is screaming, and we cut. It's very weird because you hear Derry screaming, and then when we get to it, his face has been severed from his body, so it's like, how was he screaming? And then you see the creeper put his eyes in there, and the movie ends. But Jonathan Brecht portrays the creeper very well. It's fantastic. They didn't bring him back for the new one, which already had me kind of down, because they should have at least got him to come back. But the way this new one sounds, I'm not excited anymore. I watched a couple reviews, and they weren't nice up to this new movie. But this one is fantastic. It's great. There's great feel. It's not a slasher film at all. People say it's like a monster movie. It's a stalker type movie. He is trailing them. From the moment he gets Derry sent, he is tracking them, and he was after Derry, and he gets what he wants. It's not one of those, we shoot them and they get wounded and they live to fight another day. No, he gets what he comes for. He gets Derry and he flies off and he wins. The creeper wins. It's not some slasher film where you shoot the guy and he comes back in the next movie. Oh no, I'll get you now. No, not at all. Not at all. He wins. The creeper wins, which is what it's been called. It's not called in here. They just call it The Thing. But yeah, guys, this is a great movie, and I'm gonna say it's pretty good. It would be to the moon, but I feel like I can't give it that due to the director. But I will give it a pretty good, because it deserves that at least. Okay? Don't get on me about it. Okay? There you have it. Jeepers Creepers 1. Done. So what are your thoughts on Jeepers Creepers? No Salvatalk in the comments, please. Thank you very much for that. I've been watching. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one. If I can speak freaking English.